Hey guys, so recently Nexon America came out and said that they're going to be making a number of layoffs to pursue new exciting IP growth strategies. And now, while normally layoffs are really bad news, and don't get me wrong, it is bad news for the people who are getting laid off, I actually think that this is some of the best news for us gamers that has come out of any Korean MMO publisher in a long time. And now, this has to do with the strategy that they're proposing, basically. So right now, they say right here, Nexon's long-term IP growth strategy. So the reason why they're laying off people at Nexon America is because they really want to take an initiative that is called hyper-localization, a strategy for hiring teams to adapt their games to match the taste of local players in large markets like Europe and North America. And this, if you guys, have Lost Ark players and have been following my channel for a little bit, which, I'm assuming most people watching this are, is something that I've talked about for such a long time. For me, the reason why Lost Ark and most other Korean MMOs aren't very popular and remain just like niche games in the Western market is because of the fact that they don't put enough emphasis on localizing the games. And I'm not talking about localization like language or even like monetization model, because those are already done, right? Those are already being done today. What I mean by that is really taking a look at what the desires of the local market is, and also the pacing of the local game is, and everything around that, and catering the game to that market to make sure changes and certain adjustments are made based on the situation in that specific region, for example, Europe or North America. This is something that Lost Ark has definitely struggled a lot with in the past, and I would say that they are taking measures recently, at least a lot more measures, to being more courteous and thoughtful around this idea of localization in the market, which in my opinion has actually made Lost Ark a much better game currently in its current state compared to even a couple months ago. Now, what makes this even better news is that they are saying that Nexon America is now hiring to fill out the new development team, which includes engineers and designers, which again, in the past with the publisher-developer relationship, basically the publisher didn't really have any engineers or designers. So they were just taking what was from Korea, drop shipping that into the local area, and usually making small tweaks to things like monetization or maybe like timelines, right? But really core systems in the game, core things in the game are just never changed or adjusted to fit the local market. And with this, Nexon America is really putting an effort into making a team that is able to make those changes on the fly to make sure that the game is not suited for a Korean market, but really catered and custom tailored to the Western market, which in my opinion, again, is one of the key factors to making these games successful here in the West. Now, we can see that they are planning to increase revenue and operating income by $5.2 billion and $1.75 billion by 2027. So that's a significant amount of money that they're putting into this and expecting to get a return from. Guys, I really think that this is kind of a shift that I've been seeing in these Korean companies, in these Korean game developers' ideals and kind of thoughts around how to make a successful global game. Because we've seen it in MapleStory, right? With not just this, but even before this, with MapleStory not getting rid of Reboot in the West, which was really what was keeping the game afloat here, and getting rid of it in Korea because they have their own ideals over there, right? But we have our own ideals over here, and we have our own desires for our games, and they decide, look, we're going to be moving the game away from focusing just on what the Korean version is doing, and we're going to have our own version, and they're further backing that up by making these changes here. So with that, I really hope that other game companies that are creating games, MMOs for Korea, for the West, I really hope that they are taking a look at this and really following this example. Because let's face it, right? I think that MMOs are one of the most popular genres in the market, in the gaming market. every time a new MMO comes out, it's usually at the tippy top of the Twitch charts, the Steam charts, wherever it might be. There's so many players that are excited about it and want to jump in and play the game. But as we've seen with a lot of these Korean MMOs, which in my opinion are pretty much the only people who are making MMOs these days, like if we think about the most recent MMOs, Lost Ark was probably the last one, which was made like 2 years ago, and then more recently now, Throne and Liberty, right? Both of those are Korean MMOs. There's really not many Western MMOs coming out these days. So in order to make it so that we have a good MMO coming out, a lot of times we're probably gonna have to lean on these Korean developers to make a good MMO and implement them well here in the West so that we are gonna have a good game long term. Because all these games do start off really successful, but over time, because of the different monetization models, because all the terrible systems in these games that are, good for Korea, they're happy to have these kind of more pay to win systems, but over here we're not, because all these things implemented into the games that aren't localized, aren't made to cater our audience, the population of these games just end up drastically dropping. I mean, we've seen it with Lost Ark, right? They had over 1 million players at launch. Maybe some of those were bots, but probably around 500,000 plus people playing the game. And now today, it's about 20 to 30,000. So we really have seen this kind of rise and fall of Korean MMOs over time way too many times, and I'm hoping again that this is a huge shift in the mindset of how these Korean companies treat their IPs overseas, and I hope that in the future more and more companies adopt this ideology because it's successful. I mean, look at Black Desert, right? It continues to stay really strong because they have started to focus their efforts on the Western market. Eastern market, less so it's less popular over there, but we've seen what a kind of company can do when they do focus their efforts on the Western market. The Western market does have the opportunity and room to have the game thrive. So that's about it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to see more videos like this, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications. And also I stream on twitch.tv/MeSoXhiro every single day. So I'd love to see y'all there. But if you can't make it, that's fine. I hope I see you guys on the next video. All right, guys. Peace.